In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law, I wish to state that on April the 26th, 2019, the notice of this meeting of the Upper Township Committee was posted on the official Township bulletin board, mailed to the Cape May County Gazette, the Atlantic City Press, the Ocean City Sentinel-Ledger, the Herald Times, and filed with the Township Clerk. Tonight's meeting is being video recorded up until the closed session portion of this meeting and will be available on UTTV Channel 97 and on the Upper Township website. I hereby direct that this announcement be made a part of the minutes of this meeting. Let us all rise for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Barbara, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Cobb?
Here.
Mr. Corson?
Present.
Mr. Young?
Here.
Mayor Kendall?
Here.
All members are present.
All right, we have several presentations this evening, so we'll go back to the report of the governing body after that. So I noticed that Nathaniel Young has come in, and we're going to honor him this evening for attaining the Eagle Scout. Nathaniel, you want to come up?
What up? All the way around. That's a good step.
Well, we'll wait until everyone gets in.
Yeah. Anytime you sign one or two of these. What's up?
I got to sign it.
That's all. Usually through the chair, we can see.
All right, folks, we're going to give a presentation to Nathaniel Young on obtaining his designation of Eagle Scout. Whereas Nathaniel Young of Troop 95, Seaville, New Jersey, has recently achieved the designation of Eagle Scout in the Boy Scouts of America. But the Township of Upper wishes to acknowledge the outstanding accomplishment of this remarkable young man. Township Committee extends its sincere congratulations to Nathaniel on the occasion of his receiving the designation of Eagle Scout and commends him for this outstanding accomplishment and for the completion of his Eagle Scout project, which consisted of landscaping the front area of the Upper Township Rescue Squad building in Petersburg for ease of maintenance and beautification. Whereas Nathaniel cleared and leveled the area, built a raised stone wall garden around the digital sign and filled it with topsoil, stone, and mums, landscaped the area around the flagpole with white stone, and created a paver walkway leading to the flagpole. Now therefore be it resolved that the Township Committee extends its sincere congratulations and best wishes to Nathaniel's parents, who are here this evening, family and friends on this occasion, and that be it further resolved that the Township Committee extends congratulations and appreciation to the Scoutmasters and others who give so freely and generously of their time for the benefit of our youth. So congratulations, it certainly deserves a round of applause. And by the way, he's also one of our lifeguards in Stratford. So I just want to congratulate it. It's a very difficult task for anyone to obtain Eagle Scout. Only 2% of the Boy Scouts are able to achieve that nationally. And we're very fortunate that a number of our young men have achieved that in the township, and that's because they're very dedicated to this township. We have great scout leaders that work with the young men to make sure that they accomplish all the merit badges and things and the requirements that go along with being an Eagle Scout. But I challenge Nathaniel to someday sit here because a lot of the Eagle Scouts eventually make it to some leadership role, and I'm sure he'll be very successful in his future endeavors. So, and he's a good lifeguard. So. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And he's your cousin. Yeah, contact.
I didn't make it Eagle Scout, I just made it first class.
I actually made it to one. All right,
Another pen, remember what it was.
we have some more presentations this evening. So as I call your name up, please come up and I'll have one of the committee persons give you. So the first that we're going to do is congratulating the Upper Township Riptide Gray Hockey Team on becoming the 2018 Cape May County 5th to 8th grade roller division champions. Whereas the Upper Township 5th to 8th grade roller division hockey team, Upper Riptide Gray, had an outstanding 2018 hockey season, whereas they recently participated in the Cape May County Championship Games in December of 2018 and won the Cape May County Championship for their division, winning 2 of the 3 game series against the Upper Township Red Team. Whereas it is appropriate that on behalf of the citizens of Upper Township, we recognize and congratulate the players as listed. Marie Chirillo, J.J. DiAugustine, Sean Flynn, Joey Pareca, Michael Scanlon, Caleb Service, Jezebel Colwell, Zach DiAugustine, Eddie Fuller, Cole Roden, Caitlin Schaefer, and Kaylee Williams. Whereas we also extend this recognition and thanks to John DiAugustine, who has generously given his personal time and service to coach this team. And therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee on behalf of the citizens of Upper Township to extend to the Upper Township Riptide Gray 5th to 8th grade roller division hockey team congratulations on becoming the 2018 Cape May County Hockey League 5th to 8th grade roller division champions, and to the coach a heartfelt thanks and gratitude for the generous donation of his time and service to the young people of this community. Congratulations. Congratulations. Good job. Great job. Good job. Yeah. Nice shirts. Like the Riptide shirts, very nice. Great. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Stay there. And not to be outdone, we have one more presentation congratulating the Upper Township Riptide Black Hockey Team on becoming the 2018 Cape May County Hockey League High School Division champions. Whereas the Upper Township Riptide Black Hockey Team finished an impressive season in first place, the Upper Township Riptide Black Hockey Team participated in the Cape May County Hockey League Championships in December of 2018 and won the 2018 Cape May County High School Division Championship by sweeping best-of-3 series. And whereas it is appropriate, on behalf of the citizens of Upper Township, we recognize and congratulate the following players: Sam Gold, Alex Loesch, Nicholas Loesch, Connor Meehan, Colin Perro, Dennis Schiffler, and Jake Stryker. Whereas we also extend this recognition and thanks to Dennis Schiffler and Mark Gold, who have generously given their personal time and service to coach this team. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Committee on behalf of the citizens of Upper Township to extend to the Upper Township Riptide Black Hockey Team congratulations on becoming the 2018 Cape May County Hockey League High School Division Champions, and to each coach heartfelt thanks and gratitude for the generous donation of their time and service to the youth.
Do your home. Do it. Team of it. All right. Take the box out. Congratulations. I'll be dropping trophy.
I know. Where's the head?
You guys are all the last one.
Great job, thank you.
We've not lost a lot of weight.
Now, you're all invited to stay if you'd like, but I'm sure you have homework to do on your first day back at school, so you're welcome to leave as well.
See ya.
All right. A little bit quieter in here right now, so. We're going to go back to the report of the governing body members. Scott, do you have anything for us this evening? Oh, we have to do the minutes yet, too? Okay, sorry. So would someone like to make approval of the minutes, April 8th, 2019, regular and closed session minutes?
Motion to approve?
Second. Is there any corrections, omissions that anyone's aware of? Hearing none, would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Abstain.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Plumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried with 4 in favor, 1 abstention.
All right, Scott, we'll go back to you, sorry.
I do not have anything this evening. We attended today we started our emergency management convention in Atlantic City, and and we'll spend the next few days with my deputies in training. So, but other than that, I do not have anything.
Okay, great. Barbara?
Just have one thing. I'd like to invite everyone to join us for the National Day of Prayer ceremony. It'll be held here at the Municipal Building on Thursday, May 2nd at 10 a.m. And all denominations are welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Daniel?
Nothing at this time, but we do have closed session items.
Okay. Moving right along. Paul?
Thank you. Just wanted to update the committee on two county projects that the engineers made me aware of the status update. First is the Commonwealth Avenue restriping and the Landis Avenue parking area. Both those projects are currently out to bid, and they're hoping to have those projects, both of the projects awarded and completed by June 21st. So before the heart of the summer season, both of those projects should be completed. The next and one that is in probably the second most anticipation of being completed, the Hope Corson Road project is getting ready to go out to bid, and that has a completion date of August 29th. As part of that project, there will be I believe a 2 to 3 week detour where traffic will not be will be directed around the portions of Hope Corson Road from Stagecoach Road to Route 50 to complete that project. There's some drainage work and other activities that will narrow it down to where they can't safely have alternating one-way traffic. So the road will obviously be open to local traffic and residents on that street, or if you're visiting one of the businesses that are towards the western side of that road, you'll still be able to access that, but for through traffic, the road will not be open. So that's all I have to report today.
Paul, one question, since you're talking about the county. Has the county been in to handle the problem with the playground in Strathmere and Webster Avenue?
My understanding was, I thought I was away last week. I know that, I think
they got in, they made the repair, and John and his crew are down there now putting in 6x6s. Some of the concrete curb was broken. So they took the broken parts out and they're replacing it with 6x6s.
All right, thank you.
We'll be, a few more things to do, but they'll be up and running for Memorial Day weekend.
All right.
Or sooner.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Barbara?
Just one thing this evening, a request for attendance. Our deputy tax assessor has requested that she be able to attend a conference June 26th and 27th in Galloway Township. The cost is $325. That's what brings it to you.
Can I make a motion to approve?
Second. Call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corsi?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you. Committeeman Coggins?
Nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Committeeman Young?
I do have a few things tonight. First, the Easter egg hunt went off pretty well this year. With the weather situation and a few personal issues from our Easter bunny and our outside staff, things started late, and with the weather, we did have a small crowd. So, we had a ton of little kids, 0 to 3s and 3 to 5s, which is what it's all about. So, but that was another success. Just the car show this year will be scheduled on September the 28th, and the rain date will be September the 29th. Scott, we talked before about the flagpole at Amanda's Field and the light. I've been out there, and when it's dark, you can't see that flag hardly at all, unless you're standing right under the pole. I've received a few more complaints about it.
I know they did some initial work back when you first.
It's still, you can't see the flag. We're going to have to do some additional lighting or whatever, add an additional light to make sure that's taken care
I'll
of.
have John take a look.
All right. And then the only other thing I have, and it's, I'm looking for advice on how to handle this, is we're having continued problems with dirt bikes and quads at Codwell Park, Amanda's Field, Brew House, almost all of our playgrounds throughout the township. We've had the state police alerted to it. I don't know what we do about it. They're doing some damage to the outfields, like more than the practice field at Codwell. Amanda's Field. They're running through there, and we've gotten pretty big crowds through there. And I know we talked about putting additional signage up, big signs, and let them know that they will be prosecuted if caught. I'm looking for advice on what we can do other than that.
Signs don't work.
But we really can't prosecute without signs. We have to have the signs first.
No, I disagree with that, but that being said,
You can prosecute them without the signs.
It doesn't hold up better in court if you have the signs.
Because you're not, in New Jersey, unless you have permission from the landowner, you can't ride your
Right.
dirt bike on the land. And the state police have frankly stopped people on the roads and cited them, so you
Again,
can't prosecute them.
I'm looking for advice on what we're going to do with it, short of fencing every park we have completely in.
they're not just a problem in the parks, they're a problem on private property.
Oh, I know,
They're
I know.
a problem everywhere.
And when I do get these complaints, I immediately send them over now to the new commander. Lieutenant Henry's been very
John said-
receptive.
There was quite a few out there, was it yesterday, John?
Yeah.
Again, so,
Recommendation is when you see them, contact the state police. At least they can stop them, pull them over, identify them, either take them back to the parents, or if necessary, to sign a complaint.
Probably the best thing we can do is put video surveillance out there, post their pictures on Facebook, put a reward out there, have them turned in, have video evidence, put them in front of a judge.
I'm
That's
all
the only way we
for,
can-
all for any of it, so.
But as far as signage, I have told Boyd to make sure that we at least have signs in those locations identifying the fact that.
So what are the signs going to say?
Let me, one thing, just to follow up on Curtis's, if you do put video surveillance, then you should have signs to alert people that they're being surveilled.
I think we should, invest in a couple trail cameras. You post your pictures on Facebook, we know who they are real
And
quick.
I think there used to be signs out there, because at one point we did have surveillance of Caldwell Park. I don't know if we still.
I think there are still signs in Caldwell.
So
Basically, they indicate that there is not supposed to be any RTV.
So why don't we take a positive approach? Only make signs that say, respect our fields, please report anyone that, was on ATVs or is, destroying, I'm not sure what we can put, but, any of the park things, like something that if somebody's there and they witness this, that they'll also take an active role in it.
Well, I think if we offer a reward,
Well,
I think that'd be cool.
We've had people in Brewhouse have contacted me. I went down there, tried to catch the kids. They contact me on a regular basis. I've been turning them over to Scott. They even knew who the one kid was and reported him, gave him the address and everything. I'm not sure what happened.
We turned it over to the lieutenant.
All right, do you know of any outcome of that?
I mean, short of them being advised soon after or while it's going on, that's the way they're going to take action. They're going to be able to take action, to actually see the infraction taking place, or being told about it, being identified, being identified to where these individuals are coming from. So that's where they can take action. They can talk to parents and let them know, short of signing some sort of.
If the
You may
trooper,
want another suggestion. This has happened, worked in the past, where a press release goes to one of the papers and they do an article on it, and there's a warning to parents that this is a fine, these are fines that have been leveled before. That way you get a little public education out there. That's something that
Yeah,
has worked in the past.
I've always found the rake and the scoop shovel and a wheelbarrow works the best as far as punishment. They can fix what they
the
damage.
problem is if the trooper doesn't witness them riding the bike, if he goes to their house, somebody's still gotta be willing to sign a complaint.
That's where the problem is. But again, just trying to make it clear that, they're not permitted to be on our facilities. And we need to continue to look at it.
And I'm not gonna try to defend the parents here by any means, because they bought the kid the thing to start with.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is, these parents tell their kids, oh, go out and play, and don't do this, don't do that, and the parent's not with it.
The other thing, I talked to Barb about it. We had talked about taking some of the money we had in the bond that was allocated for a stage / amphitheater for Amanda's Field. And in talking to a lot of the people out here, at this point, I'm not so sure it's a good idea that we build an amphitheater. The only people that are going to use it right now would be our 3 events. I don't foresee any of the volunteer groups stepping up and doing something consistently with it. and without having somebody in the township that's going to book movie night, concert in the park and run it. I think the money can be reallocated to some better uses for us. So what I'm proposing is, and we're working on prices, excuse me, is to build maybe a 20 by 35 or 40 stage, just the platform right off the metal building where we usually put our stages now, and make it so that we could get a portable, heavy commercial grade tent that we could use elsewhere to be able to sleeve it right into it, gives us our roof, and it gives us a stage. And then possibly take the other money and reallocate it through the bond to go towards buying our digital signs that we need on all these facilities. We definitely needed a man in this field. There should be one out front of here, and there should be one at the community center. So Larry has been working on getting prices for that. He left, so I didn't get a chance to ask him if anybody contacted him yet. But I just want to put that out for feedback from the committee. If they're okay with that idea, that we move forward and continue to get prices and see what we can do. So, whatever our next, I know we have to have the prices to move on it, but I just want to, again, looking for your input. Is this something we should go ahead and pursue?
Well, I'm not totally opposed to it, but the discussion we just had about, video opportunities at the parks to try and salvage the amount of money that we've already put into these fields, is something I think that we have to move up as a priority as well. Mm-hmm. So if we have an opportunity to have some additional funds, I'm not so sure that we shouldn't go first with the video and then see how we are with prices.
I'd like to see us piece the video cameras in. Well, you can go whole hog, but I know in our events, allergies, we've been having a lot of problems not being able to have the proper signage out here to get people to know what we're doing. At least to have in the Caldwell Park where it says upcoming events, or baseball games or soccer tournaments or whatever's there, as well as township committee meetings, workshops, whatever we had. So I'd like to at least see us do that park.
What's the main location you would want?
I really think we need one here, and there should be one out front for now. When you ride around this county, if we're the only municipality that doesn't have them. All the fire companies have them, the rescue squad has them, all the schools have them, Corbin City has them, Woodbine has them. Maybe we sit here and don't have anything.
Maybe we're doing it right and they're doing it wrong.
I don't think so. Because we have to get the county portable signs, which we can't put them on the roadside.
Where's the best visibility we would have?
Amanda's Field right now. But I'd like to see us do like a 3x7 two-sided and do something nice architecturally around it to embellish it, so that it makes it a really nice looking entryway into that facility and into the township, basically. That's where most of our people seem to congregate at this time.
So, but where would you put it? At the entrance or in the front of
right in the middle, right about where Amanda's Field sign is right now. Right in that area.
Corner of Route 50 and what, Sunset?
You can't put it on the corner. I want to put it more towards the middle, because we have, the hockey rink has all the electric and everything right there already. So it shortens all of our electrical runs up. But we have the sign there right now that says Amanda's Field. I would take that down and put the digital right there and get it like 8 feet off the ground.
So we do have a sign ordinance about digital signs, so it'd be kind of...
I have to have a 1 minute delay, or
What's that?
whatever it is, on the scrolling.
Yeah, well, it's...
This will be more of a flash, car show, September 28th, Township Committee meeting, the dates. It won't be a continuing scroll from what I envision anyway. But
As far as cameras go, cameras, we don't have to go high tech. They have these trail cameras now. For about $100 with a lockbox.
yeah,
For about $100, you can get a camera and put it in the woods or on the field.
Well, you're going to need a sufficient amount of cameras to cover what we're talking about.
if we started out with probably 6 cameras, we'd probably do quite a bit for it. Because you move them around, you don't have to leave
And you
them
find a
sitting.
couple of these people that can buy new cameras for us.
But then who is going to, if we get them, who's going to sign the complaint? and proceed with the prosecution on
No,
whatever it
if
is.
we have videos and we have proof, we'll sign the complaint.
I'm just saying, right now,
It'll come right out of clerk's office.
you know,
I would like to make a recommendation. Why don't we get a hold, Sarge, we'll get a hold of the station commander, set up a meeting with him, see how he would like to proceed with this, as far as enforcement, how you would want to handle it.
That's no problem.
Sound like a good idea?
Station commander,
Okay.
I hear what you're saying, and I can meet with any of you, and we'll make a determination of.
Okay.
and your feelings on the digitals, do we proceed?
Well, I mean,
Prices?
I mean, at this point, it's not, no harm, no foul to get the prices,
No.
and we'll see what we're talking about, and then,
You know.
we'll make a decision, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, come up with a design too, what you want to put together.
Yeah, I know what I'm
I think-
envisioning on, yeah.
It's got to meet our sign code that we have for our zoning.
What's that?
The sign needs to meet
Oh, yeah,
all,
we have to get a zoning permit for it anyway, or at least the clearances.
yeah.
Anything that has to have at least 8-foot clearance to the bottom if it encroaches into the front yard setback area. So if it's anything less than that, it's got to be 10 feet back from any right of way. So we can meet all that, that's not an issue. But I just think it's time that we have some way to notify people and get the messages out. I mean, even with the Easter egg hunt, we had a banner up there, but it only attracts your eye so much. So if we're going to do these events, I think we need to move forward and have the proper signage for us to do these and be successful at them. So, then we'll continue on then. Okay. All right, thank you, that's it.
Richard Sargent has something to say.
I just wanted to say, as long as if you get your videos, films together, and we can make a positive identification of either the equipment that you're using or the person that you're driving around, elements, you can confiscate the dirt bikes and move towards prosecution if that's necessary. I mean, but we do need that positive identification. You have a camera, or if someone calls when they see those individuals in the area, and we can get there and lock them in, because they're going to disperse. We also are restricted from chasing a dirt bike or motorcycle, but if they do stop, we go ahead and move over there.
That's the problem without 5 cars to block off every area. You got a tough job on your hands.
And the problem is if you block off a spot with a vehicle and you injure them, that's the other problem.
Which is all the more reason why we should pursue the idea of videos and the video surveillance, because we've had some significant damage to some of our fields where people ride around the field for whatever reason and, find joy in leaving, tracks on our field. So, in an effort to curtail that, or curtail it, we need to consider this. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. All right, do you have something for us?
Nothing to report, but do we have status on our leaf and brush collection?
I didn't receive an update today. As of the end of last week, Mike, we were finished with.
Brush is finished, they are still doing the highway chipper, and leaves are Butter Road South.
Loose leaf.
Loose leaves are Butter Road South.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. That's it.
Commitment Corson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just over the weekend, we had a situation. Animal Control had a pig loose. They relocated the pig. I offered my assistance. I had plenty of room in my freezer and I knew a butcher, but they wouldn't let me
It
help.
was a happy ending. What I understand, it was a happy ending and the owners got their
Their pig is.
potbelly pig back, right?
Yep. So our animal control does do other animals other than dogs and cats.
The good news is that's the only issue that we were dealing with over the weekend, so it was better than some other weekends, believe me.
And then we heard back from the assignment judge, I believe it was, about our recommendation for hiring Lauren as our court administrator has been approved. So where do we go
I
from
haven't
there?
seen the correspondences. Have we received anything?
Yes, we
Okay, well, I have to take a look at it, and she should be on a resolution for the next meeting, I guess.
Janet retires end of June, so I mean, I don't know when we want to make it effective, or we can figure that out with personnel and,
We certainly need transition time. so-
Yeah.
I'd like to see the correspondence before I give you an opinion as to when,
Yeah.
how it should go down.
Do you need a motion to say that we'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting?
I'd
I
like
don't
to.
think so. I know what the intent is.
Yeah, okay.
We obviously applied to the court for that approval. Take a look at it, and then it'll either be on the agenda or we'll report back as to how we're going to handle it.
Okay. And then Scott and I also interviewed personnel for our rescue squad position. Had two very well qualified candidates, and actually it was not a very easy decision. And we would like to make a recommendation that we hire Mike Lentz to fill the vacancy we had. And maybe we can do that by resolution at our next meeting. But also, when we raised our rates, we talked about the one position, and then in talking to Potter, Chief Potter and Scott, I think we actually need another person too. But I'm going to do some investigating work with Mr. Potter and Scott, and we're going to probably put the synopsis together to justify it by our next meeting. And then I'll make a recommendation whether or not we hire another person.
So
But
it's
I'm
your
just-
recommendation for that other, I'm sorry, what was the person's name?
Mike Lentz.
That would be, if you're going to move it, it should be a move for a resolution and a process of hiring, and that'll come back at the next meeting.
And I would make that a motion for our next meeting.
Second.
But just so you know, I'm gonna have some paperwork to look at hiring a second one too, so.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, I have really nothing for this evening to add to the conversation, so we'll move on with the ordinances.
Item number 4, under ordinances, public hearing and final adoption of ordinance number 5, 2019, an ordinance revising job classifications and titles and amending Chapter 5 entitled Personnel of the Code of Upper Township. Public hearing.
Okay, so at this time, I'll open it up to the public. If anyone would like to address this ordinance, 5, 2019, on just some revising job classifications and titles in the township. All right, let the record reflect that there was no public comment. I'll close the public comment portion and entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve ordinance number 5-2019.
Second.
Let's call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 5, public hearing and final adoption of ordinance number 6, 2019, and ordinance amending ordinance number 21, 2018, known as the salary ordinance for the calendar year 2019.
Before you act on this, I just want to point out to the committee that there was a typo in the heading and body of the ordinance in the reference to the ordinance 21, 2018. The typo was it had 2019. It's not substantial. It has been corrected, but I just want to let you know that when you introduced it, it had the wrong date on it.
Okay. So at this time, I'll open it up for any public comment for ordinance 6, 2019, which is amending our salary ordinance for the calendar year 2019. Let the record reflect there is no public comment, and I'll close the public hearing portion and entertain a motion for adoption.
Motion to adopt ordinance 6-2019.
Second.
Mr.
Call the
Barr?
roll.
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 6, public hearing and final adoption of ordinance number 7, 2019, and ordinance amending revised general ordinance, Chapter 10 of the Code of Upper Township.
I'm having trouble opening it. Okay, so at this time, I'll open it up for public hearing. Ordinance 7, 2019, amending the general ordinance of the Code of Upper Township. This one's referred to
This is
permit fees. Go
the
ahead.
fees, construction code fees.
Yeah.
It's just updating them so that the construction office runs off of the revenue that is generated. It's a requirement that each year the construction official submits a report to the township committee and makes recommendations to change the fees to reflect the cost of running the department.
Again, let the record reflect there is no public comment. Well, there was one question from the public. It doesn't appear that there's any public comment or further comment, so I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion for adoption.
Motion to approve ordinance 7, 2019.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 7, introduction and first reading of ordinance number 8, 2019, and ordinance amending revised general ordinance, Chapter 19, land subdivision and site plan, and Chapter 20 of the Code of Upper Township. We move forward, the public hearing on this would be May 28th.
Move we introduce ordinance number 8 of 2019 with a May 28th public hearing.
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 8, under resolutions, congratulating the Upper Township Green Hornets wrestling team on becoming the 2018-19 South Jersey Youth Wrestling League champions.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 9, congratulating the Upper Township Green Hornets wrestlers on becoming USA Wrestling New Jersey State Championship place winners.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 10, Chapter 159, resolution for the insertion of a special item of revenue into the 2019 budget that was not determined at the time of the adoption of the budget, State of New Jersey, in the amount of $150,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 11, appointing Daniel Schuler as supervising mechanic to the Upper Township Department of Public Works.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 12, appointing Sharon Taggart as personnel officer to the Upper Township Department of Personnel.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 13, appointing the 2019 season beach patrol personnel contingent upon background clearance.
Move the resolution.
Second.
And these are 2 of our returning guards, and they're going to help out with getting prepared for the Memorial Day weekend. So,
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
yes.
Motion is carried. 14, appointing Norman W. Briggs to act as special legal counsel.
Move the
Motion approved.
resolution. Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 15, authorizing a contract with CASA Payroll Services of Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey for payroll services.
Motion to authorize.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 16, authorizing the execution of a contract with Adams, Raymond, and Hagan Associates for the maintenance of the official tax maps.
Motion to authorize.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 17, authorizing the execution of an NJDEP TWA1 application, statements of consent form regarding 1823 Route 9 South in Upper Township, and this is for Block 567, Lot 24.
Hold on, I need to recuse myself. My parents live at Osprey Point, and they're adjoining to this property.
Jason, correct.
And I also have a conflict, so Paul can report on it.
This is a standard treatment works approval application that we typically review. This is not for a single family that we normally review. This is for a multifamily property. It's the former Coast Guard housing on Harriet Lane, where there's 9 properties that currently exist on the property. The zoning board did grant a use variance to construct 11 additional units on that property, to bring it to a total of 20 units. So they are going to construct a conventional septic system on the lot, but because it's greater than 2,000 gallons and it needs a treatment works approval, which they need our consent. So with the zoning board approval, it now does meet all of our other township requirements with that approval.
All right, and this is also to help satisfy the code requirements, correct?
It's part of that, but that's not
But I mean,
really,
it's still part of
it's a
our
component
ongoing number.
of that because it's
Yeah.
part of the Osprey Code project, yes.
Yeah. All right, motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo has abstained from this matter. Motion is carried with 4 in favor. Item number 18, designating certain Strathmere beach areas in the Township of Upper as a surfing beach and a catamaran sailboat beach for the 2019 summer season.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Do we get any catamarans?
Yes.
We
You
get one or two.
And the area for the catamaran is between Hawthorne and Hamilton?
Correct.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 19, authorizing the filing of a 2019 NJDEP Municipal Recycling Tonnage Grant application.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 20, authorizing the disposal of personal property with no market value.
Motion to authorize?
Second?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 21, accepting the annual stormwater report and certification and authorizing the township engineer to electronically sign and submit it to the NJDEP pursuant to the stormwater rules.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 22, under new business. Greater Tuckahoe Merchants Association requests use of the Upper Township Community Center for the annual Handmade in America Professional Craft Show on November 22nd, 2019, and November 23rd of 2019.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 23, ALS Association, Greater Philadelphia Chapter, requests use of township roads for the annual Ride to Defeat ALS bike ride on June 15, 2019.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. 24, Upper Township Warriors Lacrosse requests use of Amanda's Field for a lacrosse tournament on May 18, 2019, with a rain date of May 19.
Or this is the entire Amanda's Field.
pretty much.
Okay.
This is their tournament, their annual tournament.
Everybody else has been noticed as far as soccer and,
Yes.
okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 25, the Upper Township Beach Management Plan.
Paul?
Thank you. I briefed the committee about this probably about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. This is we have to update our beach management plan every 3 to 5 years, and we're at this cycle. It is a requirement, both of our DEP beach maintenance permit, as well as in order to maintain and receive our permits for the beach fills that we have through the Army Corps and the DEP permits that are required. So this is the management plan that we've been working on. There are essentially 3 major changes from prior rounds. The first and one of the major changes, which really benefits the township, is there used to be 3 management zones. We're going to drop that down to 2 management zones. The only protected zone will remain is in the northern end. It would be from Webster Avenue north to Seaview Avenue. That will be the only dedicated protected zone that typically has roped off areas for beach nesting birds and has restrictions on activities that can occur on the beach between March 15th and the end of September. The rest of the beach, so the other protected zone that they're removing and making part of the recreational zone is everything from Hawthorne Avenue south to the Sea Isle border. That used to be all our protected zone with those same restrictions. That's being removed, and so we now have access to that full beach for recreational activities. What was added in replace of that was a plant protection strip along the upper end of the beach, adjacent to the dune, and that's an area that that during that restricted time we can't have motorized vehicles driving in that area, which encourages potential threatened and endangered species that would, and these are not animals but plants that grow on our beach. Sea beach amaranth and the evening primrose are 2 of the primary focus plants that have been on our beach, and they want to protect those areas for that. The other things that we were able to get was, we can't implement now, but we have to, the first step as part of this, because we'd have to follow through with our beach management permit, would be to allow a once-a-year maintenance rake of the beach in order to pull up. Even though we go out and patrol the area for large debris, this would allow us to do a maintenance rake during the probably February, the very beginning of March timeframe, to rake up any other debris that is washed up on the beach and kind of do a beach cleaning that way. So those are the 3 major changes. There's some other minor changes within the management of some of the species, but no real effective change. They're discussing about you can't fly drones within certain areas where there's nesting. In the wintertime, there's now restrictions for driving on the beach if there's a flock of red knots or other types of birds that would be in the area. You have to maintain a 300 feet buffer around those, not to disturb some of the migrating flocks in that, but that's only during the wintertime. It doesn't really impact our beach because we don't allow driving on our beach anyway, and it would only be for our public works vehicles that were out there for an emergency response. So that's really the essence of the changes to our beach management plan.
Paul, does it limit us to when we can rake the beach as far as the time frame? Or can we rake it like closer to maybe May, when the season just started?
No, you can't. We might be able to do that in, say, the recreational area, but we're really limiting it to, because, from Webster to Seaview, we would, after March 15th, we can't have any activity on it.
So we can't do anything this year then?
I'm more concerned with
You can't do anything this year?
We can't do anything this year until we update our beach maintenance permit. This is a beach management plan that's really with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the DEP. We have a companion
Which, by the way, with no criticism to them, they were the ones that were driving closest to the dunes last summer with their vehicles. So of all the people that are asking us to sign it, they were the biggest abusers.
The Army Corps was, and I mentioned that to them, that they do have trouble with their sister agencies of following their own rules. And they're fully aware of
Okay,
those.
just so, you know, I would continue to make them aware of that, and we will be monitoring that this summer.
Yes.
And what I was referring to is the recreation areas, with all the spring storms we get, to do it after that, so it's ready for season. And just the recreation areas, not the,
Yeah, what prohibits us from maintaining the beaches after storms? Debris.
You can pick up after storms.
After a storm,
Yeah.
if there's large debris that washes up, they're allowed to go up and get it. There's some coordination and notification that we have to do with the DEP and Fish and Wildlife Service. to
Do
let
all these
them-
other towns have to do this?
Yes.
They all rake.
They all coordinate with the DEP, telling them that they're taking stuff off the beach?
Yes. For the areas in accordance with their beach management. I mean, several other towns have more an active raking program. So in their areas that they have active raking, they can actively rake because that's what they have.
I mean, the only time that I see that we really have an issue with raking, you know, we have sometimes after a storm out at sea, we have a lot of seaweed and debris that gets washed up. And there are times where a gully develops based on high tide and those kind of things where it would make sense to level it out so that the gully doesn't occur.
Well, that's different than raking. After a storm where we have heavy seaweed wash, we've gone out and raked and picked that up. There's provisions in both this, the beach management plan and our permit, that if there's emergency conditions that exist where there's a fish wash up or seaweed or other major debris that needs mechanical removal, we are allowed to do that in conjunction with, and a lot of it is just notification to the governing agencies and making sure, you know, at that point, the only thing that would restrict us from doing it would be an active nesting zone that's currently fenced off and roped off. That would be the only thing that would prevent us from.
what do we have to do to be able to do a normal maintenance program on our beaches if we chose to?
Well,
Right now,
at our next beach maintenance permit, where we could apply early, we would have to amend our beach maintenance permit with the DEP to allow us to do that. And more primarily, you know, you'd have to set up the public work functions and budgeting and the capital expenditure of the equipment to do it, because you don't have, you know, even if you mechanically, you know, if you look at what other towns use for the mechanical rakes that they rake on a daily basis,
I mean, that's,
to get into that
I don't
operation,
think
it would be very difficult to
I don't think
to
we're
change.
looking to get extensive, like Stroud and Marlin and all these. We want to be able to go up and respond and keep the beach clean when we have to. It's not gonna be
We
a
can and we
daily program. It's to go up there, you got people digging holes and everything, so our people can go up, fill the holes in.
In
Risk
emergency,
management stuff, that's what we're talking about.
in emergency conditions like that where it warrants it, we have the ability, it's just providing proper notification to the,
I mean, because we're gonna have the beach mats, you know, they're the kind of things that we're gonna have to maintain those areas.
and we can and we always have.
And pulling equipment up on the beach and everything, it's gonna require that.
And there's provisions. When you read the whole beach management plan, there's provisions to do all of that. You know, our Public Works Department is cognitive of what
So it is
restrictions we
possible.
have to do.
It is possible, if we wanted to do a once-a-week rake on it, with a York rake.
Well, no, the
Not
beach
by this
management plan, this plan is incorporating is doing one annual maintenance, not a routine. What you're discussing is a routine raking.
No.
This plan does not set up for routine raking. This is a once a year.
But it could be, going into next year.
No, not for routine, for annual.
Then how do
This
the other-
plan is only for one annual
You know what I'm asking,
raking.
is all the other beaches rake daily?
Correct.
How do they get that approved?
well, they
They
apply
go through the
for it.
process. I mean, we started this process by not talking about trying to do
Right.
maintenance raking. If you want to say, well, let's go back to them and you want to have additional meetings to reopen this back up, then that's a discussion we have to have, but I wasn't given that direction when we first started talking.
I don't think we want to do daily raking. I mean, you're gonna have no shells on the beach or anything. I mean, that's,
I'm just saying, it'd be nice once a week or something, to be able to go in there and just
well, that's what makes our beach nice. You can actually go down there and find a shell.
Toby, we do not have the current equipment to do that.
Well, I know we don't, but I'm saying down the road, I'd rather see us have the approval to do it if we decide to do it than to wait and try to get it to be a 5-year process.
Well, we gotta,
You need to say something now because
well, I mean, there's not, to change it now would be, I mean, we don't have the couple $100,000 worth of equipment to do that.
No, we don't.
correct.
But how long does the process take to go through? I mean, I'd like to see us be proactive with the approval. If we don't have to do it. But if we have the approval, we have the option to go down the road, that's all. Instead of waiting, and then being 5 years trying to get an approval.
Well, I'm not in favor of raking the beaches, that's my personal opinion. Because we don't, I mean, we're gonna need $250,000 worth of equipment, you got the gun, and then we're gonna have somebody over there at 4 in the morning waking everybody up, because you can't do it when people are laying on the
I
beach.
just, when last time I was down, there's a lot of
The only thing I
holes.
would want to see is us having more leeway in being able to maintain the beach when we have to.
Right.
We do.
Not
You have the
daily
right.
occurrence. No, but he's saying you only have one major
No,
raking.
that's a
That's it.
routine maintenance,
Yeah.
but when you have a storm and a ton of seaweed comes up or debris comes
So
up.
we don't have
you
a problem with that.
You don't have a problem with that. You can go.
We had a fish kill, we had hundreds of fish one day on the beach, we went down there with a loader and buried them. I mean, you don't apply to DEP for, wait a week for a permit with fish dying on the beach, I mean, you do it.
But you do it by providing proper notification to the
Yes.
agencies,
Right.
and that's that coordination that we do on a continuous basis. And we do that, and we have done that for, the last 20 years.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
You need to take action, I believe, to
Yeah, you
direct
need
Paul whether or not and the mayor to sign the memorandum of understanding.
I'd like to make a motion that we direct Paul and Mayor to sign the memorandum of understanding with the Wildlife Association for the beach management plan.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Someone like to make a motion to pay the bills?
I hereby move that all claims submitted for payment at this meeting be approved and then incorporated into the full minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
There are 3 reports from the Municipal Department's Animal Control Division of EMS Municipal Court. Those 3 reports will be available upon request at the Township Clerk's office tomorrow, but I'll make a motion to receive these reports.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yeah.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Plumbo?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
So at this time, we'll open it up to the public. If anyone would like to address the Township Committee, now's the time to do so. Please come to the podium, state your name and your reason for addressing the Township Committee.
Hi, good evening. Linda Bateman, 14 East Tecumseh, Strathmere. I'm the president of the Improvement Association. I had a follow-up question to the playground. I didn't hear when you anticipate it being finished. It's been months,
They're
as you
working
know.
on it right now, and they started putting the 6x6s in today. I would say within, Scott, 2 weeks?
Is the
be
pipe
100%.
The pipe is fixed.
is fixed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And you mentioned mats. How many mats will we be getting, and where will they be? On which streets?
At this current time, we're putting mats at the locations where all the protected beaches will be at.
So that's from Webster?
Well, no, we're going to have from the protected beaches all the way down Hawthorne Avenue to Williams.
Our goal is to put a mat every place there's a lifeguard standing.
Oh, that kind of protection, okay, sorry. Thank you. And at the last meeting when we were, I'm not sure what the public hearing on May 28th is for? And is that's a Tuesday, so is that at the planning board? In number 7, introduction and first reading of ordinance 8?
May 27th is a holiday, so we move our meeting to Monday.
Okay, so that is the
Yeah.
township meeting? And is that the one regarding the changes to Strathmere building code?
There's a number of.
There's a number of items.
Other ones, okay.
That includes that.
And we talked,
Strathmere is in there, the land use is in there.
okay, and we talked last time about legal notification to people in the commercial,
There's going to be a notice going to people who, in the zone that's being changed.
only in that
Only
zone?
in the zone that's being changed, not
Okay.
generally. It'll be with everyone in that zone and people within 200 feet of it.
And that will come within
It's got to be, they have to be sent out 10 days before the.
10 days before?
The clerk's
So
office
the date is
sends it out.
actually the day after Memorial Day.
Okay. I was confused about that. I forget what the other one was. Okay. And lifeguards will begin Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, they'll be in place Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It won't be a full staff. We'll probably have limited beach coverage. I'm thinking there'll be at a minimum 3 stands, potentially 4. Some of it is, we have returning guards that we're waiting to hear, who's going to return, who's going to be available for that weekend. There are a lot of our younger folks that are still in school, so we're not sure who's going to be available or not. But we definitely have commitment from the senior guards, and our lieutenants will all be available for that weekend.
And then when will,
And then I believe the official start, we'll probably do weekends until, I want to say June 8th, somewhere around there. I believe that's when the tryouts are scheduled. It's either, whatever that Saturday is, the 6th or the 8th. And that will be the first to start manning on a daily basis. And then we'll move to Beasley's Point sometime after that, probably towards the end of June.
thank you.
Would anyone else like to address the Township Committee? Okay, it appears there's no further public comment, so I'll close the public comment portion of the meeting and entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I hereby move that a resolution be incorporated into the minutes authorizing the Township Committee to enter into executive session for the following matters pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. The matters are contract negotiation for alternative micrographics, for employee health benefits, for Atlantic Care BLS, for township road assessments, and for a media advisor, and personnel. I also include in my motion the estimated time and the circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public as follows. It is anticipated that the matters discussed in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Township Committee that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. With respect to employment and personnel matters, such discussions will be made public if and when formal action is taken or when the individuals involved consent that it can be made public. With respect to contract negotiations, such matters will be made public when negotiations have ceased and there is no longer a reason for confidentiality.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Crowley?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
And Mayor Palumbo?
Yes, thank you for everyone that came this evening. Please drive safely and have a great week.
That's delicious.